elevating the patient experience, turning clinical expertise into heart-first care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's not about the knowledge inside your head. It's about the connection that you have and you create inside your heart. So I want you to think from the patient's eyes, do an audit of your office, take a walk through, see it as the patient sees it, see it with new eyes. What is the first thing that you're seeing? What do you hear in the waiting room? Identify one area to enhance or upgrade. So, talking about identifying friction points, we want to look at the arrival. What is the check-in like? Does the entryway feel welcoming or is it sterile? Are your front desk people greeting the patients by name? Even if they don't know them, they could easily see on the schedule that there's a new patient coming in. And if somebody walks in with paperwork, make sure you say, "Oh, you must be Barbara. We've been expecting you." Like, "Yeah, I am Barbara." "Okay, great. Come on over. Let's get you taken care of." So as crazy as this is, in the first office that I worked, we had positive parking. So each one of our parking spot had some cool quote or encouraging word. So when a person pulled into that parking space, that was actually the first experience before they even walked in the door. So think about that. What does the arrival look like? What does your parking look like? What does it look like at the front door? Do you have dead plants that are sitting outside? All of these things are really important and how you make somebody feel from the very get-go. The environment, is the seating comfortable? Is there clutter or confusing signage? Let me tell you, I bought these beautiful chairs. I thought they were so cute. And what I learned very early on is my patient says, "These chairs are too low to the ground. I can't get up." So actually, I went through 3 revisions on my reception chair, believe it or not. I got higher chairs, but they didn't have arms. So now the people say, "Well, I have neuropathy. There's nothing for me to push up on to get out of this chair." So it was kind of a bummer. I probably should have surveyed the people who asked from the get-go to have different chairs. So I went from really cute, comfy chairs to chairs with no arms to then having chairs with arms, and we finally got it nailed down. So it couldn't be too small. It was kind of like the 3 bears. This one's too small. This one's too big. This is just right. So think about that from the perspective of the patient and the demographic that you bring in. Do they have neuropathy? Are they overweight? Are they coming in for weight loss? Do they have back issues? Does your furniture suit their needs? What is the environment like? What's the music? Very important. The music that's playing should be soft and it appeals to most people. If you have hard rock, there's people that might not like that. You have techno booming, people might not like that either. Be mindful of how your office also smells. All of these things are super important. And then communication. Are patients spoke to in a language that's inclusive? Are we calling them by name? This is one of the most important things that you can do. KISS method. We like to say the KISS method is keep it super simple instead of the other way. I know you guys have heard that before, but how do we keep it super simple? Simplicity builds trust. When things are complex, anxiety arises. They're already anxious because they're in a doctor's appointment. So simple explanations lower barriers. It makes people feel more comfortable. Having a clear path. People often say no because they don't KNOW or they don't understand the why behind what you're doing or what's going to happen in the appointment time. What's really important is that education is a part of every single encounter when a patient comes to the office. Actionable value. Make them feel valued, heard, and understood through your choice of words and how you serve that person through the entire journey. Why simple is better. When patients enter a clinic, there is often a state of vulnerability, which we talked about. They're going into a doctor's office, their blood pressure elevates a little bit. They have a problem, they know they have a problem, but oh my gosh, what are you going to tell them? Big words and clinical jargon create distance. Simplicity creates safety. Great experience happens when the patient understands exactly why they're there and what is going to happen during this visit and as they continue along through the patient journey. Avoiding the expert trap. So I want to talk about the barrier. Using big words to establish authority. Don't do it, okay? They already know you're smart because you have doctor in front of your name. So don't confuse patients by using big words or showing how smart you are. Keep it super simple. Talking at patients instead of with them. We want to be in a dialogue, not a monologue. This is a big problem. And I actually hear this a lot because we listen to recordings from case managers and sometimes into the evaluation through either the chiropractor or the nurse practitioner. So keep it simple. Keep it easy for the patient to understand, because if not, what's going to happen is they're going to go in their mind and try to process all this stuff that they don't fully understand. So now everything else you're saying to them is not even being heard. So the bridge, use analogies and simple terms that build confidence, make them feel valued through clarity. 3 pillars of connection. Valued. Do they feel like a person or a number? Small details matter. This is why many of you are growing in clinics, but you're afraid to add a patient educator or a case manager. You need to do that because people will sense if you have urgency, like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to be with this person right now, but I have 15 other people who just got on the tables. I hear the buzzers ringing, that kind of stuff. So we want to make a person feel like an individual, not just people that are getting herded through the office. So make sure that you go into present time consciousness with that person. They're the only thing that exists in that moment right now because people will feel that. That's how you make them feel valued. Heard. Are we giving them a space to speak without interruption? Or are we talking over them? Or are we telling them what's going on without even them giving us the information? I'm going to tell you, a lot of times I always ask patients when they come back from the day 1 appointment, hey, Barbara, welcome back. I wanted to know, what are your thoughts in going through the consultation and the evaluation yesterday? They would say, oh man, I've never had anybody ask such thoughtful questions. And I actually felt like you were listening to me. I felt heard. And that's so important on the health journey. And understood. It goes from both sides. Do we truly understand? Are we listening to understand what's going on with them? And then also, can they repeat back what we said or what the plan was? Do they feel confident in the next step? So remember, this is a dialogue. It is not a monologue. And this monologue and how we have things set up is to make people feel valued, heard, and understood. Practical empathy, being generally interested in the person, not just interesting to them. I see this happen a lot of times where it's like, let me show you how cool I am and all the things that I know. And we're missing the point. The point is to get to know the person, to say what is going on with them, what are their goals, what are they looking to accomplish through care. We need to know that first. That's actually part of the sales process, is understanding what the person has going on, what their desires and goals are, so that we can deliver the product or the service that's going to be a solution to that specific problem. So we want to shift the focus from what you know to what they need. Active listening is the fastest way to build treatment compliance. And that's what it's all about, is we want to get them from this place that they're at and they're in pain, they don't want to live like this anymore, to when they're feeling better, they still continue to come because they understand the end goal. Remember, people remember how you made them feel, not just what you said, or what you did. It's about how you made them feel. Communicating the why, clear intent. Start every interaction by explaining the goal of the visit. People are nervous. They don't know how to fit in, especially if you have a big office that's hustling and bustling. People kind of like, oh my gosh, how do I fit into this practice? Okay. But clear intent and explaining everything as we go along is going to make them feel comfortable. It's like I always say it's going like to a house party. You walk in and then the music's going and there's people moving and there's all this kind of stuff happening. We want to be in that environment, but we want to make sure that people feel comfortable when they walk in and they see people on machines and getting massage and doing exercises and getting adjusted. This is all great, but we want to make them feel like they're at home. Simple steps. We break down the treatment plan into 2 or 3 manageable steps, going over, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take healing from the inside out and the outside in. This is how we're going to do that through chiropractic, massage, and decompression. And then from the inside out, we're going to do blood work and nutritional supplementation. So keep it very simple in that way that they can understand it. And then confirmation, ask questions to see how they originate ideas. That will let you know if they understood what you said, instead of speaking at them. They go, oh, do you have any questions? Anything else? Does that make sense? People are going to say yes out of compliance because they don't want to feel or look silly or stupid because they didn't get what you said. So make it interactive. I cannot stress enough on this patient journey and elevating that. Stay away from monologues, do a dialogue. We're creating a partnership and a relationship with the patient. And then the wrap up, we end it with reassurance and clarity on the next steps. And we continue to do that each section of the way. So from the day 1 appointment, the new patient appointment, to the report of findings, to the treatment plans, to the re-exams, we keep education and communication, and we keep letting them know what's the next step, that we can continue to care for them for many years to come. A lot of you think, oh, well, I'm just going to do 4 weeks of care and then they're done. That shouldn't be the case. Is how do we keep them on wellness or maintenance plans to stabilize all the corrections that we've made done? We want them thinking of our office first. If they're not feeling well, they had an accident or an injury, they're looking for nutritional supplementation, they come back to you guys as the hub because you've communicated in a way that they understand, and this is a partnership. They're always going to look back to you on how to elevate their health and wellness outcomes. Team implementation. So this week's action plan, audit. Walk through the office, walk through your business, say, what does it look like from the consumer or from the patient's perspective? Simplify, pick one common term and find a simpler alternative. Many of you guys, I work with chiropractors who use the word subluxation. Well, how can we say that simpler when we say, hey, there's pressure on the nerve, which doesn't allow the body to function properly. Same thing as subluxation, okay? But it's in a very simple term that people can understand. And then connect. Lead with one care statement per patient. I'm really glad you're here. Welcome back, Barbara. Using a person's name is the biggest care statement that you can do in a clinic. Or what have you noticed since your last visit? Stay away from, oh, how are you feeling? How are you doing today? Because that puts them into the place of, how am I feeling? Well, remember, in practice, we are looking at function over feeling. So stay away from those words that get them thinking on, oh, well, how do I feel today? Well, I don't feel so good, and I should be feeling better because this is my 8th visit. But what have you noticed since your last visit? Oh my gosh, well, I was out gardening and I wasn't trashed for the next 2 days. That's a win. So be careful on how we communicate. Think of those care statements and get those implemented. Making it actionable. Focus on the heart. Keep it simple. Remember, we're going to kiss it. We're going to keep it super simple. And then we're going to elevate the experience by all the things we just went over today. So how can we change one interaction today? It's the 1 degree. If we do 1 degree of difference every hour or every day, At the end of the year, you get a really different thing as far as your intention on how you want to create the patient experience. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If this helps, leave a comment. Interact with us. We want to hear from you. What do you need? What do you want to hear next? It was so great to be here with you. Be blessed, be a blessing, and we'll see you next time.
If this helped, give this video a like and share it with someone who needs this.